All right, let's get into it. Today, we're breaking down a really important speech from Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, given at the recent APC National Convention. We're going to unpack the big ideas here: unity, defending his current policies, and the vision he's laying out for his party, and really for the whole country. So, right from the get-go, the president set a powerful theme. That phrase, unity and progress, it wasn't just a catchy slogan. He called it a potent and timely reminder. And this one idea, it's pretty much the foundation for everything else he's about to say. The core argument that without everyone pulling together, real progress just can't happen. Now, to talk about the future, the president actually started by looking back. He took everyone back to the APC's founding. The point was to say, hey, to understand where we're going, we have to remember why we even started this journey. And this wasn't just some boring history lesson, It was strategic. It was a way to remind everyone of the party's original mission.
He really paints a picture of the party's beginnings as this moment of crisis and rescue. He described 2013 as a time for national redemption, a moment when leaders had to come together to save the country from what he called economic disaster. The big takeaway he wants you to have is this: the party wasn't just about politics. It was built on this deep belief that Nigeria could be better. He argues it was a moment that literally changed the political landscape for good. And a huge part of that origin story, at least according to the president, really centers on one key person. His speech took a specific moment to pay tribute to the leader who helped lay that very groundwork for the party's rise to power. And here's where he gives a direct shout out to his predecessor. He talks about former President Muhammadu Buhari's journey from a military general to a Democrat who, as he puts it, worked relentlessly to build the party from the ground up. It's a really clear, powerful nod to the party's first elected president. Okay, so after setting that historical stage, he brings us right into the here and now. In this section, it was all about tackling the current challenges, defending his administration's policies, and pretty much confronting his critics head-on. This is where the speech gets interesting, because he tackles criticism directly. He describes the opposition's challenges to the electoral law as constant attacks and even a disservice to Nigerians. And his response? He positions his government as the defender of the system, highlighting a commitment to the rule of law and credible elections. It's a classic political strategy, right? Frame your side as the one protecting order. So what about his administration's big plan? Well, he positions the renewed agenda as way more than just a campaign slogan. He calls it a governing philosophy. And calling it that is super intentional. It's meant to show it's a deep, thought-out strategy for getting the country through what he admits are some really tough but necessary reforms. And to prove this philosophy is actually working, he basically presented a report card, a list of wins designed to show that those tough decisions are already starting to pay off. Let's just run through these real quick. He mentioned that investor confidence has improved, the oil and gas sector is looking attractive again, and a recent Eurobond issuance was oversubscribed by a massive 400%. He also made a point to highlight that Nigeria is off the international financial gray list, which is basically a watch list for countries that might not be doing enough to fight money laundering. He frames that as a huge win for the country's credibility on the world stage. But this report card wasn't all about money. To tackle the country's ongoing power problems, he gave a hard number: a promise to add 1,500 megawatts to the grid. That's a very specific, measurable target designed to show concrete action on an issue that, let's be honest, affects just about everyone. All right, so from progress happening now, the speech then pivots to the future. And this part was all about making direct appeals and promises to specific groups of people across the country. He spoke directly to the country's young people, calling them not just the future, but the nation's hope. But here's the key phrase: as decision makers. He's signaling what he wants to be a shift from just having youth participate to actually giving them a real seat at the table where the big decisions are made.
All right, next up, he talked about the role of women in politics. And he did it in a really personal way by sharing a story about a question he got from his wife, the First Lady. Now, this was a really interesting moment. By sharing a private chat like that in public, he basically turned a policy issue into a personal promise to be very gender sensitive. It was a clever way to humanize his position and vow to take decisive action on getting more women into leadership roles. So how does he wrap all this up? Well, he doesn't just summarize. He ends with a direct charge, a clear set of instructions for the party's new leadership. So here's that mandate, broken down into 4 clear points. It's a call for humility, for courage, for growth, but check out that last one. anchoring management in a reliable member database. That's not just boring administrative stuff. It actually points to a bigger push for a more modern, data-driven, and maybe even more transparent party. So, at the end of the day, the speech really tells a clear story, from a unified past, through a challenging present, and toward a future he's promising will be more inclusive for everyone. He's celebrated wins and made some big promises. Which of course leaves us with the big question. The vision's been laid out, but how will it actually be measured in the real world by real people in the years ahead?